CITV Bermuda. I'm Jamila Lodge of the Bermuda Economic Development Corporation, and this is Mind Your Business, the show that brings you the latest information about starting and running a local business in Bermuda. Join us as we discuss the local business issues that are important to you. In the studio with me today is Adrian Lodge, one of my favorite people, but he's also the owner of Bermuda Island Games. Welcome.
Yes. Thank you.
I'm so excited that you're here. You've been here before, in the hot seat before. But today we're going to talk a little bit about Rocket Pitch, which is an event that we have during Global Entrepreneurship Week. But before we get into that, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I own Bermuda Island Games, which is a small not-for-profit business that I created, I think it was 2010, I want to say. I don't know. I have to find out what it was.
You're dating me. You're dating me.
It was a long time ago. But basically, it's a company that does mobile and video game development that promotes Bermuda.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's the first of its kind locally.
Right. Why did you decide to do that?
Because there was nothing in the market. At that time, there were no video games, no web presence about Bermuda itself. Now, since then, there have been a handful of games that kind of reference Bermuda, but there are still none that actually talk about the real Bermuda.
So why do you think that is?
Well, because they're not locally made. The companies that are just using Bermuda as a name brand to try and get sales, they're not doing the actual research and making it about Bermuda. And that's one thing that we are doing.
So for you, you felt like there was an opportunity for you to not only create the game locally, but localize the content.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, can you share with us a little bit about the type of game and what you actually pitched in the Pitch Tech competition last year?
Sure. So last year, we pitched a series of educational games about Bermuda. And the first game in the series is Legend of Sir George Somers. So that's talking about Bermuda's history when we were first discovered. And to put that into game form really helps the students to retain that information. That's one of the goals of building games, is to kind of show them, it's not just the textbook or like a drama skit. This is actually something that kids can take and go off and do on their own.
So let me ask you this then. Since you already had Bermuda Island Games, this idea of creating content to help children learn about Bermuda history and all that kind of stuff, that was relatively new. Why did you enter the Rocket Pitch though?
Well, Rocket Pitch, I know for a fact that BEDC offers services as well as cash prize to help get businesses started. So for that particular project, we were looking to try and kind of gauge the audience and see, okay, does everyone think this is a good idea?
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why I like Rocket Pitch is you get to network with other, like-minded individuals, and also if there are any investors in the audience, which is one thing that we're always promoting, is come and take a look and see, are there any ideas that you like and that you want to sponsor?
Okay. So it was an opportunity for you to sort of validate that you were on the right track. Did you receive that validation at Rocket Pitch?
Well, yeah, we did, and we built it.
Yeah, you built it, okay. Yeah. So how's it going now? Like, what is the process that you went through, and where was the majority of that work done? How were Bermudians or locals involved in that sort of building of the game?
Question.
It is.
So,
pick one, and then answer the rest.
Right, so we won the Rocket Pitch last year. That was in November. And we got the money in December. So January, that's when we officially kicked off the project. And we spent about 3 months recruiting. And we tried to get as much Bermudian talent as possible. So we didn't actually start any of the work until March. Once the project actually started in March, it took 3 months to build the demo. And the demo of a game is obviously the minimal viable product, the MVP.
That's right. So let me ask you this, because some people who I've talked to, and we've been doing this Rocket Pitch competition for about 10 years, right? So it's a great opportunity to kind of get your idea out there. But for you, you had already kind of had this business that you wanted. Now this product that you were debuting was relatively new, but what was the experience like for you pitching to this public who have never seen the product before, hadn't heard of it? And how did you navigate that process?
Sure. So Rocket Pitch, they provide a pitch deck for you, which kind of breaks down what it is that the judges are looking for And if you just follow that kind of PowerPoint slide, it will kind of guide you as to what it is that you need to do when you get up on stage. So for me personally, like I said, I've done it before.
Yeah.
I wasn't intimidated. I just kind of knew what I was doing, just went through it. And, as I said, for the judges, when they give that feedback at the end, that's more valuable than, pretty much anything else in Rocket Pitch is the one-on-one. Well, the money helps. I mean,
no, but you make a good point because, again, for you, it was the validating of the idea and making sure that you were on the right track. So, of course, we try to get industry experts and leaders to be the judges. And like you said, in some cases, there are even investors in the room. So having them say, yes, I think you're on the right track, and then giving you ideas and kind of things that you can use to tweak maybe your idea, I think I would agree with you. That is a good experience as well. Now, in addition to the cash money, you also received some startup services. Have you had an opportunity to use them, and did that help?
Okay. Well, we're on TV, but I've used some of them.
Okay.
The others, I'm still waiting to use them.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll give you an example. CHW, I think they were one of the sponsors, and I've worked with them to formally create a company for Supertone Limited, which is the parent of Bermuda Island Games.
Okay. All right. So it does work a little bit.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so that, I guess, is what I like to know from you. For people who we want to encourage to apply to the Rocket Pitch, because it's coming up this November, what kind of words of encouragement, and why should they do it? Why do you think they should enter or apply?
Well, I mean, like I said, there's the validation piece. There's also the chance to win cash prize if you want to go ahead and build your company. I mean, what other reason do you need?
I'm asking you the questions.
If you have an idea, don't be afraid to share it, because that's the number one problem of kind of non-entrepreneurs is, well, I want to hold on to it, but you're never going to get anywhere. You have to get others to work with you and actually build this, because you can't do it on your own.
Right.
You might have the passion, but you need a team to make anything work.
Yeah. I think that's a good point, and we see it all the time, especially in Bermuda because it's so small, right? People are afraid that if they tell someone, they're going to steal their idea.
Right.
But for me, I feel like an idea is just that. But if you don't implement it, people come up with ideas all the time. So I feel like it's unfair to think that your idea will stay your idea and yours alone forever. When the reality, the real kind of thing that you're working towards is actually implementation of that idea.
And the fact is, this makes me laugh, people always say, oh, well, I had that idea. I was the first one. No, you weren't.
My idea.
Yeah, no, you weren't. I'm not the first one to think of building a video game development.
Yeah.
Right? That's not how it works. I'm the first one to execute.
Right.
That's the difference.
Right. And I think that's a very key, is the execution of it. And like I said, Rocket Pitch has been around for about 10 years, and we've helped people through that phase of execution. And for you, what would you say was one of the things that you enjoyed most about participating in that competition?
Just the networking, just to see, meet with other people, and they can help you, down the road. You never know who you're going to need at what point.
Right, that's very true, because I know you didn't build that game all by yourself, so it took...
Absolutely not. So like I said, we have a team of both locals and overseas, because we had to kind of fill in where locals didn't, meet the requirements.
Right.
Yeah.
So what is your ultimate goal? So you've created the Sir George Summers game.
Yep.
What are the other plans?
Sure. So the next game in the series is going to be Mary Prince.
Okay.
That's the one we're doing research on now. So we've worked with Titan Express. They're doing the tours for Mary Prince.
Yeah.
We're working with
I went on that tours.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Yeah.
We're working with the other subject matter experts as well as teachers to find out, okay, what is it that you teach today, and how can we encourage that or extend that to be more Bermudian?
So let me ask you this, because your focus right now is Bermuda and Bermuda content, but do you feel like what you're building is scalable outside of Bermuda?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. So Bermuda Island Games, the theme is always going to be Bermuda, regardless.
Right.
But once we get past the educational games, that's not a moneymaker. The moneymaker is when you build something international and actually sell that.
Right.
So we have plans for that as well.
So do you see an opportunity to help encourage or support the next, I don't know, group or cohort of game developers? I mean, that's not something that we really do in Bermuda, but do you feel like you can kind of encourage that sort of development in that industry in Bermuda through what you're doing?
So we're working with the community. We actually worked with the Bermuda Esports League to get that up and running. So in case you don't know, Bermuda Esports League is a Bermudian, I guess, game player community where people compete, and we have the tournament. So we have
a big thing.
Fortnite and Super Smash Brothers and those games that already exist.
Right.
But within that, we had the educational piece where we showed, look, you can also build your own game.
Yeah.
It's not just playing what's out there.
Right.
So we want to always encourage more Bermudian talent to say, hey, look, I know some programming. Let me see if I can build my own game.
Yeah.
And what we're trying to do next year in 2020 is actually put on a game development competition.
Okay. Well, I like that. Right. And it's all as a result of Rocket Pitch. No, I'm just no, it's all you, but we're happy to have supported you down that road and hopeful that as people look at this, there's opportunity, and that's all we want to do, be the catalyzer to get whatever you have going on in your brain out. Right. And you could pay it forward so many times exponentially with what it is that your future plans, I would say. So.
There you go.
Great on you. Thank you so much for coming and joining us and sharing a little bit about what you have done since entering the Rocket Pitch. I'm looking forward to seeing more because I know my son is a Fortnite player.
That's
and so I'm begging you to get him involved in whatever role he can play.
In December.
In
so
December?
You can definitely join that.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll let him know. But thanks again, Adrian, for coming out.
All right.
All right. Thank you. We're going to take a quick break and be back with Mind Your Business.
It's here, and Cal's excited. Bermuda's first Integrated Resource Plan, or IRP, is our roadmap to a stable, clean, reliable, and secure energy future. Sounds great, but what's in it? The IRP will ensure that 85% of our electricity comes from renewable energy sources like large-scale solar panels, offshore wind turbines, and biomass technology. It will also create new opportunities for training, jobs, and investments while helping to stabilize the cost of fossil fuels and inflation. While the IRP will be phased in over the next 20 years, there are things you can do now to better control your electricity bill, like using timers and turning off your AC units and water heaters when not in use, and taking advantage of the government's LED light bulb exchange. The next steps for the IRP include pre-feasibility studies and a competitive bidding process for interested investors. The IRP is an ongoing process for all of us, and the RA wants you to be informed. Visit rab.bm today.
Welcome back to Mind Your Business. I'm your host, Jamila Lodge, and joining me now is Madison Thompson. Welcome.
Thank you.
So Madison, you attend Bermuda High School for Girls, right?
Yes.
Okay. And we are talking today about the Rocket Pitch competition, and I know that you and your partner, Natalie, entered the Youth Pitch competition last year. Mm-hmm. So what kind of inspired you to enter the competition?
Honestly, when I heard about it in assembly, I was very surprised because I had never heard about such experience in Bermuda, and I was like, wow, I'm interested in business.
Okay.
I want to be a successful entrepreneur in the future, so I just went for it.
So your business idea was the meal deal.
Yes.
How did you come up with that?
Well, seeing how much food weekly or daily that my mom throws out, you get it and then you wait 2 days and it's expired.
Yeah.
So it's
frustrating.
Yeah, so just trying to find ways to save money in the household. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that for those who may have missed the Rocket Pitch competition. What exactly is the meal deal?
So basically it's a food app that generates recipes based on the food that you have in your fridge. So it tracks the food that you have in your fridge, and it also records the expiration dates, and it helps you reduce food waste in your household.
Because you have a recipe, so you're like, I know I can use that chicken and that rice
Yes.
and that broccoli and make something. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that to me is really innovative. Mm-hmm. And so you and Natalie kind of came up with that idea, but it seems like there's a lot of technology associated with it. Definitely. What was one of the challenges that you felt you would have to try and bring that idea to fruition?
Honestly, since I'm so young and the stress of school and especially the IB program, managing that with school, it's really been a challenge. So in university, I'm going to really try to implement it and push my idea and really get on it so I could get the grades to go so they can help me.
So when do you finish school? When you go
March.
In March? Okay. All right. Fingers crossed, maybe. So what was the experience like, though? Because like you said, you're a student, you have all of these things going on, and now somebody's talking about enter this competition and you can win some stuff. Yeah. I know you said you were inspired because you want to be an entrepreneur, but how was it actually pitching?
Well, for me, I'm not like a strong speaker alone, so with Natalie, she really helped me and pushed me to just be confident and out there. So it was a really like interesting and new experience for me, and it really helped me to grow and learn those speaking skills. And it was just really fun to see like other people's ideas and see like where they would go with it.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. So would you do it again?
Definitely.
Oh, good, because we know we have that competition. Yeah. No, really, we would encourage. It's always, for us, we developed this category specifically because young people were participating and competing against adults. And so we were like, well, some of these guys' ideas are better than the adult ideas. No shade to the adults. But we did say, well, let's give more young people an opportunity to pitch, and we created a separate category. So you actually pitched at what we call preliminary round, where people actually got to come out, parents and everything, and then you made it to the final round of the rocket pitch competition. Was there a difference in the experience?
Yeah, I feel like
pitching,
the preliminary round was very casual, and like I didn't really feel like I was gonna win. Truthfully, I was like, there's a lot of strong ideas here. Yeah. So when I got chosen for the next round, I was mind blown. And then the next round was really formal, and it was a really interesting and like different experience. Yeah.
But one that you would do again.
Definitely.
Right. Okay. Well, I look forward to your submission for this year. No, I'm teasing. No, I really think it's good on you for having participated in the competition. And like you said, as you prepare for college, you're going to have to be doing these kind of things. And I think it is a great opportunity to kind of get your feet wet, if you will. Yeah. And then if you could take your idea and actually make it happen, you know what I mean? That would be an awesome thing. So I just want to thank you. We're going to talk a little bit to Natalie, get her perspective as well. But again, Youth Pitch, we're running it again. So if you guys come up with another idea, go ahead and put it in. So thank you so much for sharing your experience with us. And hopefully you're going to inspire some other people to come on too.
Yes, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Okay, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with Natalie.
Healthy people and healthy communities.
Dear Mommy and Daddy, I feel so much better now since we started walking and eating healthier foods together. Other kids used to tease me about my size, and last year my school nurse said that I was overweight for my age and height. Now she tells me that my body measurements are in the normal range. Thanks for helping me to be healthier and feel better about myself. Love, Kaylee.
This is a message from the Department of Health.
Welcome back to Mind Your Business. I'm your host, Jamila, and joining me now is Natalie Calderon. She's the second part of Team The Meal Deal. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
I'm glad you are here. We had a chance to talk a little bit to Madison about the meal deal, so we know what it is. But I want to talk to you a little bit more about the experience of pitching. Okay. So you guys won the preliminary rounds, and then you also won the finals. What do you think some of the keys of your success were for winning the competition?
I think, well, Madison and I are really good friends, so we already have like the chemistry when trying to work together. So I think that really came across too. And as Madison said, like, I am more comfortable public speaking, so I just tried to encourage her to be really confident and just sell the passion, because she was especially passionate about the app and about being involved with business. So I think that us working really hard to just be ourselves and be confident and be calm under that kind of stressful and intimidating situation, I think that really aided our help and helped us win.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
And I think the funny thing is that what you came up with is like something that's actually needed, right? Because it's true, in Bermuda, a lot of our stuff is imported.
Yeah.
So by the time you get it, it's probably half the life is already done.
Yeah.
So you only got a couple of more days. But to have something that could actually tell you 2 days, and by the way, this is how you could prepare it, I think it's great. So like I mentioned to Madison, it seems like there's going to be a lot of technology involved.
Yeah.
Do you think it's something that you could actually implement?
Yeah, I definitely think it's possible. I mean, as soon as we won, we were a bit shocked and excited, but we did start looking into different routes and different people that we could potentially make this happen. But I think, as Madison said, I mean, we are in our final year now. It's a lot of work. IB is a lot of work, and we're both trying to balance schoolwork and extracurriculars and applying to university. So right now it's a little bit on the back burner, but I think it's something that both of us would really like to see come to fruition maybe when we start university, for sure.
Okay, well, I'm encouraging you to do it. As I mentioned to Adrian, who I spoke to earlier, he also participated in Rocket Pitch. It's not so much the idea as it is in the implementation of the idea. So if you ladies, are inspired to continue on, I would definitely encourage you to do that. So for those who may be looking and thinking about pitching, who may be a little nervous and not sure whether or not they should get involved, why do you think that, or how would you encourage someone to get involved?
I think that especially for the youth, for me it was really inspiring to see all of the wide range of ideas coming from kids our age and younger. So I would say especially to the youth, there's no age limit on a good idea.
Right.
You don't have to be an adult to have a good idea that can work and that can be viable. So just if you're passionate about it and you have a genuine interest, go for it. Like, what's the worst thing that can happen? Even if you don't win, your name is out there, your product is out there, and you never know who's in the audience or who's watching that could be interested.
That is so good, and it's so true. You're speaking like you know, because I share the same conversation with adults who are nervous about sharing their idea, but I definitely think from a youth perspective, you have a lot more opportunities, right, to get up and, let's say, fail and then start again. And I hope that it was a learning experience for you. I hope that you would consider participating again, because we do have the competition coming up again. Plug, plug, plug. What are some tips that you can give to those who are like, yes, I'm going to do this?
I would say definitely know your product, know your pitch, and practice. I think for us, definitely practicing the pitch and knowing it kind of inside and out was really beneficial. But also just be yourself and let that passion really come through, because at the end of the day, if you're passionate about it, you'll succeed.
Yeah, and people will feel that, I think.
Exactly.
One of the things that I think was beneficial also, and Adrian mentioned this too, was the validation part.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. It is really validating, I think, also from being a young person to know that adults value and can see and believe in what you've presented to them. And also, even if you do fail or you take that risk and it isn't successful, it may just be the inspiration that you need to keep going and to try a new idea and be like, well, I do have the potential, I do have the ability, so.
That's great advice, because I do think that the more times you put yourself out there, the more chances you take, then you have the greatest opportunity to succeed. Because if you talk to entrepreneurs, they probably failed hundreds and hundreds of times, but that one hit, now they're millionaires and billionaires, Mark Zuckerberg and such. So I do think it's a great opportunity to explore entrepreneurship.
For sure.
The idea of owning your own business. And it doesn't matter what you decide that you want to do in life, still being able to think like that, I think is a positive.
Definitely.
So I'm so happy that you participated. Thank you for sharing a bit of your experience with us today, and hopefully you've inspired some others too to enter the competition. The Youth Pitch competition is going to be held in November. And for those, if you are interested, again, you can go on the website at gw.bm and sign up and register, and hopefully maybe you and Madison and will take home the next prize.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. All right, thank you for joining us today on Mind Your Business. If you have questions, you can contact the BEDC at 292-5570, or you can email us at info@bedc.bm. And remember, if you don't mind your business, who will? I'm Jamila Lodge, and thanks for joining us.